To reach their bus stop in Wilmington's Hilltop neighborhood, Warner Elementary School students travel a treacherous stretch. Their path takes them on blocks where armed drug dealers do a brisk business. In the last year, 8 people have been shot, one fatally, within a 3-block radius. Boarded or run-down brick homes line the streets. Empty glassine bags for heroin and cocaine dot the pitted sidewalks. On this morning, a pit bull tugs at his leash.
This is like drug central, you know. Most of these people, that's what they do. It's not the school, and it's not the teachers. It's, you know, the upbringing and the mentality of where we live. If you look around, you see, you know, how poor this neighborhood is.
83% of Warner's 428 students come from poor households. More than 9 in 10 are Black or Latino. Some board the bus with empty bellies and shabby clothes. Only a scant few live with both parents, many of whom are in prison or have been casualties of Wilmington's gun violence.
I would say majority of the students are most likely being raised by a single mother. Even in the situations where there are both parents in a home, there is some kind of dysfunction with some of those families.
Classroom performance at Warner trails almost every other Delaware elementary school. Based on state tests, about 1 in 5 students are proficient in English and social studies, far below the state average. They do even worse in math and science, with barely 1 in 10 proficient. 1 in 5 students are special ed, and nearly 1 in 3 were suspended last year.
There you go, you got a good start. You got what? There's a lot of developmental delays in a lot of these kids, so they may not have gone to preschool. In kindergarten these days, I mean, you're expected to write sentences by the time you leave, but it'd be hard to do that if you go in not even knowing your ABCs or how to spell your name.
These troubling realities led then Governor Markell to dedicate about $1 million extra over 4 years to Warner. The school has made some improvements, but remains under state scrutiny. Principal Krishawn Fitzgerald wants to dispel the notion that Warner is a bad school of unruly students, burned-out teachers, and absentee parents.
I don't want people to have the perception that there's progress not happening or that the work is not taking place. Our teachers work hard every day. Our students come in, they're respectful, responsible, prepared, and safe, and academically focused, and the work is happening.
Parental involvement, while still poor, has improved. Warner now has a social and emotional learning program. They hired a behavior interventionist. Financial incentives were used to attract and keep teachers who meet twice a week about boosting scores. There's more partnerships with groups that donate time or items such as coats, book bags, fun books to read, or even weekend food packages for students.
We have blankets and coats and gloves, just really actualizing the vision and the mission of the school.
Warner has set lofty proficiency goals that are more wish list than realistic, like having 40% up to speed in math in the next 2 years. Now it's just 1 in 10. But the staff cites modest gains as major achievements and argues that the true test is year-to-year growth.
If you're judging off a statewide test, yeah, we're a low-performing school. But if you're judging off growth and what these kids did when they came in to what they're doing when they're leaving, I mean, they make tremendous growth.
Watch your thoughts, for they become your words.
Beyond academics, though, Warner is also helping students with basic life skills. In that vein, Harold Pritchett teaches social and emotional learning, designed to impart knowledge, attitudes, and skills involving emotions, empathy, relationships, and decision-making.
So when we meditate, we look at ourselves when? When we first wake up. And then we see ourselves coming to school. And then we see ourselves coming to class. So then we can look back on our day and we can see when we were doing what? The right thing and the bad things. And who can correct us? We correct ourselves.
The bottom line is that there almost certainly will always be a big achievement gap between Warner and schools in affluent areas. But that doesn't deter educators who often wear several hats in hopes of providing children with stability and perhaps that spark they need to succeed.
We're pretty much here to be everything that they need. The psychologist, the dad, the uncle, the preacher, teacher, whatever we need to be. Our job here is to kind of just be everything that they don't have and hopefully, help mold them into productive citizens.